Dün, dün, dün. Test, Test 1, 2, 1, 2. Hallo, hallo, hallo. Test 1, 2, 1, 2. Okay. Stream is running. Let's make it big so that I see when someone joins the chat. And then let's go back to the problem from yesterday. But before I do that, I remembered that I wanted to adjust TVM version to 0.10.1. Okay, let's see if that still works. TVM, and let's run it. Mm-hmm. Oh, and I also need to adjust the versions. I forgot to do that as well. So, Flex version is currently the one that I'm using is 9 snapshot. Actually, LibGDX is 1.12.1. That's also snapshot. Tiled, I actually use 1.11.0. Okay, and let's see. So now that looks good. So everything is running in the browser. The dialog is still working. Yes, it is. And now we need to go back to the map transition stuff to fix that weird visual bug that we have here. Okay, so that one looks quite promising. So let's commit that. So upgrade TVM to 0.10.1 and fix version batches in README. And now back to the real problem, which is our map transition test. Where do I have that? That one here. And let's start it. And let me try to understand again what is happening and what is going wrong. So I am here in this map. So everything is working correct. Right, left, up, down. The transition is working. That looks good. But now if we switch to a different sized map, then I think the left and right panning is correct. Yes. Okay, now I'm on the same map. Let's go back to the small map. I think that was... That's correct, but the Y panning is not correct. That's way, way, way too much. I actually would need... What do I need? I just need to go like half the value down. So let me try something. I thought of something yesterday. So when we go from right to left edge, then this might be actually the from map height instead of the to map height. And let's see if that solves already our problem. It would be then minus this offset. So left to right. No, that's not correct. Welcome back to the LibGDX Kotlin PT tutorial series. Ah, yes, that was usually my opening sentence, I guess. Also, I think you always mentioned my name like Simon or something. And hello, welcome to the stream. I am figuring out something. Let me explain it. That's the reason why I started the stream, because I guess I might need some help and maybe there are geniuses out there. And let me explain what I am currently working on. So we have a game and we have a map with 4 different exits. And when we go to one of these exits, then behind the scenes, the next map is loaded and I want to have a transition effect like this one. So that the next map is already rendered. The old map is transitioned to one of the other directions. And currently it immediately disappears. So that part here is the old map and it just disappears. Then we can have a fade out effect or whatever. And yeah, this transition effect is perfectly working when I am on the same map, so with the same dimensions and everything. And I have a test for a map where the portals, let's say, are not offset with each other. So what I mean with that is the logic is like this. So when we go to the right portal like this one, then the portal always has a target map, which it tries to load. That is simply the name. And in this case, it's just mocked in a special way. So it's the same map again, like we see it here. And then it has a target portal ID, which is 4, which would be this portal here. So the right portal goes to the left portal. The left portal goes to the right portal. The bottom one goes to the top. And the top one goes to the bottom. And if they are, I don't know, let's call that axis aligned, then the map transition effect does not need to offset the map. So simply when we go from to the right edge, then the same exact map is drawn on the right side again once more, like we see it here. Let me go back. So then the map is simply drawn next to each other. And with a camera pan and so on, I get then this map transition effect. And this is perfectly working in that scenario. It's also working when I go to a bigger map where I wanted to test the map offsets. So there is a bigger map, 20 by 20, the same thing as before. So there's a bottom, left, right, and top portal. Bottom goes to top, top goes to bottom, left goes to right, and right goes to left. And the important part is it's really moving you to a new map. So it's not just teleporting the player up there in the same map. It's really moving you to the next map. And here we would have an offset, because when we go down and we would enter the same map again, then this portal here, or the map, should be aligned here with the bottom portal here. And this is also working. So when I go down, you see the tiles are correctly aligned. And you see this black gap on the left and right side. This is because of the offset that we need for the rendering. And the camera is then correctly panned. Of course, this is an extreme use case. So in the real game, I won't have most likely crazy map offsets like that, so that we don't have this black area effect here. But the important part is that the transition is doing what it should do. But I have a problem now. So when I go from this large map to the small map, then you see there is this jumping effect. And also when I go from the small map to the big map like this, the camera pans to a wrong direction. The player is moving correctly, so that looks good. But the camera itself, that is moving to a wrong location. And I am trying to figure that out, the code for that. So I focus now on when we leave the portal on the right edge of the map and we enter the new map on the left side. So that would be from right to left. And there I have a specific calculation in place for how much or what would be the camera target location. So where's the camera moving to? And for whatever reason, this is not correctly working when we switch between maps. So when we go from the big to the small map, there you see there's this jumping then at the end, and that is not correct. And I'm trying to fix that, but I need a short break. I'm coming back in 5 minutes. I think so. I leave you the game open here on that side. A little bit smaller. And the code with the calculations is here. Maybe someone understands how I need to fix that. Otherwise, I need to fiddle around with that a little bit. And also welcome IRQ3. Oh, okay. I'm back. It's 1 a.m. at Vietnam. I need to sleep now, Simon. Goodbye. You're the guy from Vietnam. I remember you. Okay, have a good night. Sleep well. Bye-bye. For the rest of you guys, let me explain the situation. Maybe someone has an idea then in a comment if I cannot figure it out myself. So what I'm trying to achieve, maybe my approach is also not the best one, I don't know. But what we usually have, we can have a tiled map in LibGDX. Let's say it's like this. And in LibGDX, the map is always rendered from 0, 0, which would be here, the bottom left corner. And then it goes up somewhere. That would be our tiled map. And somewhere in that tiled map, we have a portal which leads us to another map. Let's say here. Then we would have another map. Let's say which has a different size. I don't know, this one like this one. And this one has a portal on the left side. Like this. And now we would have, when our player now goes to this portal in this map, then I want to have a map transition effect that actually this new map here gets rendered like this, so that these two portals are aligned on the center and the player is then moving to the right. We already see the new map. And at the end of the transition, so when the camera is then also moving to this new map and the new map is then on the left edge, then at some point we will no longer have this map here in our original screen. We would have this map here like that. But temporarily we don't have this map here aligned on the 0, 0 coordinate, let's say. It's temporarily for the effect for the transition. It's rendered here and with a little bit of an offset. So it's not like this, because then the portals are not aligned and the player would maybe move inside a tree or whatever. And to fix that, we need to align the portals, because there we know that those paths are free and can be passed. And that's why we need a little bit of a render offset here for this effect. And the render offset and the rendering itself, that's not an issue. That's working perfectly fine. The problem that I'm having is with the camera, because let's say this would be our camera viewport. It would be something like this, and theoretically it would be rather easy. So when I'm on the right edge, I just need to move the camera to the right, and that's it. But it's not so easy for whatever reason. I cannot remember anymore why, but it's not simply moving to the right. It's actually also moving a little bit to the bottom or to the top. I guess because of the way I render the other map. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, getting this now correct so that the moving of the camera is properly done, that one I'm currently struggling with. So it's working when I'm inside the same map as we have seen before, but it's not working when I have maps of different sizes. And here I'm not 100% sure why I have a problem. I have a problem, but I don't understand why. Also, a good question is, why can I not simply move the camera to the right? So we focus on that test case right here. So we go to the right portal and enter the next map on the left portal. And again, as mentioned, this is perfectly working for when we switch to maps which have the same size. But when we switch to another map, then for whatever reason, we have completely wrong render results. And I am not sure why. So one of my ideas was that this one here should be from map instead of to map. I'm not sure. I think that one gave a little bit of a better result. So this one is still working. Yeah, so the transition effect between the same map would still work. But going to another map. Ah, interesting. Okay, that one worked as well. That one did not work because here I would actually need to go down. So maybe it should be, I don't know. So if I use here minus instead of plus, I tried that as well, then going from the small map to the big map is now correctly working. But then this one is not working anymore. Why? I don't know. I don't really get it. We are close, but not perfectly close. So let me change that one here also to from map. I think that should still work as well with the same map. I hope so. And I think it's closer to where we need to get. Yeah, so this one is working. Then let's go to the big map with the offset. Yeah, that's also working. And going from the big map to the small map is no longer working. But that worked before. Let me revert that case here once more. Nah, let's stick to it. And let's try to fix it. So if I go from the smaller to the larger map, then here I would need a minus. If I go from the larger to the smaller map, then maybe I would need here a plus. So maybe something like this, or I don't know, diff. Let's call it sine. And I think there is a sine function. And that would be from map height minus to map height. And make that a float. And make that also a float for whatever reason. So here we would get -1 if the value is negative, 1 if the value is positive. So I would need to multiply the offset with that. And would that be correct? So going from the smaller to the bigger map, I said I need to have here a negative sign. Which would be from map is 6 tiles, to map is 20 tiles, so that would be negative, so that would be negative. So that might work. Let's see. Okay, so normal transition is working. That one was also still working. That one was no longer working. Why was that one no longer working? Okay, then let's see. Then going from the big to the small map. That's working now. So going from small to big is working. Going from big to small is working. Okay, here's this random bug that I sometimes have. But going from the big one to the big one did not work. Because if it's exactly the same, then the sign is actually 0. Yes, and if it's 0, it should be maybe be 1. So let's make it a var here. And something like this. If sign equals 0, then 1. And otherwise it's the sign. Can I get a sign for integers? Is there here something? Random sign? No. No. Then 0f. Let's make it like this. And then it's 1. And otherwise it's sign. Okay, let's do it like that. Let's try that once more. So right transition here is working. Then going from the left to the from the small to the big map is working. Going from the big map to the big map is working. And going from the big map to the small map, working. Okay, so all 4 use cases are working. It's a little bit weird. I don't know why it's working, but somehow it is. So let's also fix now the next case. So going from left to right, I guess I need here the same thingy. So let's, to quickly test it, just copy and paste it in. So going left with the same map size is working. Going from the small to the big map is not working. That's completely wrong. Then going from the big map to the big map, that's working. And going from the big map to the small map is also not working. Maybe here it's the other way around. To map, from map. I don't know why that would be. Let's just try to inverse the case. Let's see if that's the solution. That looks good. Small to big map. That looks not good. Big map to big map. That's also not correct. Big map to small map. Also not correct. No, so here something is now completely broken. Let's see. Let's go back to our starting point once more. So here I had initially the to map instead of the from map. So how does it look like this? So going from small to small is working. Small to big is working. Big to big also working. And big to small. That one is not working. So big to small is not working. Because, let me test. I think I most likely need to change the pen offset sign here. So let me quickly go to the big map. And now from the big to the small map. That would be correct, yes. So for big to small, we need to change the sign here. Which would mean big to small, I need to have a negative sign. So to map is 6 minus 20. That would be negative. So I would multiplied like that. From small to big map, that doesn't change. And if it's exactly the same, then I think we still need it like this. So let's see. So small to small works, small to big works, big to big also working, and big to small also working. Okay. That's perfect. Okay, so here it obviously mentions something about code duplication, but we don't care for the time being. That can be improved later on. Then let's test top to bottom on the small map is working. Then from small to big, that's not working. From big to big, that's working. And from big to small, also not working. So there something is not working. So top to bottom. What exactly is wrong? So first of all, it goes too much to the right. There are two issues actually. Okay, no, it's just the X offset is not correct. Is it here the same with the sign issue? So let's just take it. No, that's not the case. So here, simply switching the sign is not correct. Why? So here we have max styles minus blah, blah, blah. Ah, okay, wait, maybe let's change here the to map also to the from map. That was one of the things that we did before. Okay, looks a little bit better. Is it now the negative sign? Yes. Okay, so here it's also this sign stuff. And let me think that through. So going from the small to the big map, I need to have a negative sign. So going from the small map to the big map, I need a negative sign. So that's not correct. So it should be from map to map, then it's negative, and then multiplied here. Let's see. So small to small, working, small to big, working, then big to big, also working, and big to small, also working. Okay, we are close. Then last one would be bottom to top. Let's see. So here between the same map it's working, and small to big. Small to big is working. Big to big is working, and big to small not working. So here we need, I guess, then this use case here again. Times sign. So small to small, small to big, big to big, And big to small. Ta-da! Perfect. Okay, so great stuff. It's working. Does it also work in the game itself? So when I leave the village... no. Ah, that's interesting. Here it's not working at all. Huh? Huh? Why is that? Why is it here not working at all? That's interesting. Why is it here not working at all? Shouldn't that be exactly the same scenario that I had before? So I have the village. I have here my portal. I don't know why I made it bigger than it used or it needs to be. And I have here the other portal. So the rendering again is correct. We see that because the maps are correctly aligned. Huh. Ah, wait. I have a mistake. So here it's of course the height that we are comparing, but here we need to compare the width. Because we are panning on the x-axis and not on the y-axis, so the sign is dependent on the width of the map in that case. Okay, wait, let's see if that fixes it. Yeah, a little bit better. With the test maps, it doesn't matter because they are squared, so the width and the height is always the same. But here we have a difference. But still not correct. What could that be? So it's top to bottom. That one is already not working correctly. And let me see, the X panning is not correct. It's 2 fields more. 1, 2, yes. Why is that? Let's debug it and try to understand it. Okay, so we have an offset of -3. Why is it -3? Is that correct? So here 3 to the left, and then I have my portal, and then 4 to the left, and I have another portal. Offset is 1. Yes, I would say so, because this one is here 4 tiles to the right, and this one here is 3 tiles to the right. So actually, I would need to pan 1 to the left, I guess. but I have here 3. And why is that? So max tiles x is 16. Which is the minimum of the map width and the viewport. So from map has a width of 20, viewport is 16. What is if I have here 2 map width? Would also be 16, so that doesn't matter. So maximum tiles is 16, which are rendered. And the pen offset is then minus the shown tiles. That's from map width, which is 20 minus offset something, and the other value would be 16 minus something. So that's not correct at all. In my opinion, what would be the correct value here would be most likely, let's duplicate that quickly. I think in the real game, it should be just an offset of 1, right? Or minus 1, not sure. Okay, that was wrong. It should be minus 1. Yes, should be minus 1. Which would be actually just offset x, maybe minus offset x. Okay, let's try minus offset x. Okay, here it's not correct. Minus offset. Maybe the sign again, not sure. I think I need to draw that on paper and try to understand it, maybe come up even with a simpler solution than that. Why is it also penning here so much? It just needs to... I don't get it. I don't get it at all. So here I have an offset of... Where is it? 1. So when I go down, the offset should also be just bottom to top would be here. So offset is 1. Offset is minus 1. Yeah, so it would be just the offset, but I don't get it. But that's not working for the test maps then again. So if I simplify it to, let's say here, minus offset x, and here, I don't know, plus offset x. So now it's here correct. Now it's here not correct. Should also be minus, it seems. So if I have it like this, then in the real game, that would be correct. Yeah, that's correct. But then it's no longer working in the test scenario. So if you would have maps like this, so same map size is working, but that one was also working. Yeah, but going from big to big map, this is obviously completely wrong. Going from big to small. Also not working. I don't get that. Okay, but I think you understand my problem. I hope you understand my approach. I try to draw that now on pen and paper and figure it out. If anyone has an idea how I can simplify that, please let me know. Maybe my approach is just not the best. This mathematical stuff is obviously broken, so it's not working correctly in the game. For whatever reason, I also don't understand it. I don't understand why the maps, so the test maps, are properly working with that approach. Right? So small to small, small to big, big to big, and big to small. Everything is working. Then going down, small to small is good. Small to big is good. Big to big is good. And big to small also good. I don't know why it's working for the test maps perfectly fine, but for the real maps, it doesn't. I really don't get it. I need to rethink that approach. Anyway, that's it. I just wanted to start a quick stream. Maybe someone has an idea or help. I appreciate that. And otherwise, have a nice Sunday. Bye bye.